How you like the pipe in that thumbnail? Ha! Anyway guys, November 10th. Let me tell you, my birthday's next week, and if shit really does go down this weekend, man, what a birthday present that would be. Make my whole year. Anyway, in this one, we're gonna devote it again to Q and Q's questions. And let me tell you though, before we get into those, it really doesn't even matter if Q is telling us the truth or not, okay? Because what he's doing with all of these questions, he or it or her or whatever it is, what's happening with all these questions is that multifaceted, multiple things are going on. One, it's getting people excited. You know, I don't know if you're in my Facebook group or not, but if you want to join it, man, there's so many excited people and they're having such great conversations. It's making people excited. It's making people actually put in the effort to research for themselves. And not only that, but it's making people come together and actually unite with, you know, each piece of the puzzle that they understand with these questions. And I'm going to talk about a few of the pieces of the puzzle that I understand about Antarctica in a couple minutes, but it's just amazing how everybody's got their own answers to the questions, and it's uniting us all to figure it out and to bring the puzzle together. So it's great. But anyway, and real quickly, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's been supporting me on this channel and with these videos. They've been blowing up. A lot of them have been demonetized, you know, with the view count getting the way it is and with the things that are going on. They've been demonetizing my videos, and Amazon deleted my affiliates account too. So thank you all that have been supporting on Patreon and PayPal and, you know, grabbing the webinars off my website. All of that helps me greatly and helps me keep continuing to do these. And, you know, I actually saw this channel mentioned on 4chan as well, so that I got stoked, man. It was like, hey, if you're lurking, great work. So props to you 4chaner if you're watching this video, you know, thanks. But anyway, big news first. Q just posted like an hour ago, right before I got on to do this video, is that he said there's a President of the United States, NatSec, National Security Briefing at 3:02 a.m. Please stand by. And it just says confirmed and correct. So there was a couple posts that went on earlier basically saying there's a briefing that's supposed to happen tonight. And then there was another post that was made. It said 3:02 a.m. GMT time. So it's 10:02 Eastern, 7:02 Pacific. Don't know if it's going to happen, folks, but it looks very well like we could get some sort of announcement tonight. And one dot to connect here that makes me think that this might be real is that on Bill Mitchell's Twitter, he actually posted that something big might be going down tonight. So, hey man, I don't know, but start making the popcorn if you got some non-GMO popcorn, because we might see some fireworks go off. But I just wanted to make note of that really quick. Get it out there before it actually happens so you can all prepare if you don't know about it. And then let's talk about some of those questions that Q postulated last night on the 9th. So, of course, I mean, all of these posts that he makes, there's multiple questions in each one. You know, you can speculate your own ideas on a lot of these. We don't exactly know the specific answers. But in last night's update, he talked about Antarctica a little bit. And I know Antarctica very well. I know a lot of that backstory. So that's what I want to offer to you guys here, is those puzzle pieces to, you know, formulate into your own perspectives, worldviews, and belief systems. So the questions that he posted last night, the primary ones that I want to discuss. Why did JK go to Antarctica? This is John Kerry. Why did John Kerry go to Antarctica? What is happening in Antarctica? And it also said, is it more private to talk there or something else? So let's talk about Antarctica a little bit here. And let's first talk about the history of Antarctica. What's really down there and the reason why you have to charter a plane and planes don't fly over Antarctica. No, it's not because there's an edge of a dome there and the planes are going to crash into the dome. It's because in Antarctica there are, well, for a long time, for millennia, if not multiple millennia, there's been ruins down there. There's ancient civilizations ruins under the ice in Antarctica, and could very well be extraterrestrial ruins, could be Atlantis, you know, pre-civilization. Because let's be real, folks, the winners of the war write the textbooks. So all of our history textbooks are completely bullshit. They're completely wrong. And there's much more of a history to humanity than we're led to believe. We don't originate from monkeys in Africa and, you know, whatever they tell us in the mainstream. I'm going to link down below a video of David Wilcock, his Antarctica Atlantis video. It was from a presentation he did at the Conscious Life Expo, I believe, earlier this year. Watch it. It's very good. It describes the whole backstory in regards to Antarctica and what's actually down there and how that plays into these disclosures that are going on. And great video. Go watch it. You know, you may have your opinions on David Wilcock, but he was pivotal in my awakening, especially in about 2011. I read his source field book and it just, you know, but of course, not every one person is an all-knowing harbinger of truth. So you take what you can, you know, as Bruce Lee said, absorb what's useful, reject what's useless, and add what's your own. So do that. But it's a great video. Go check it out if you're not familiar with Antarctica. And also what's going on in Antarctica is what happened with the Nazis there. Bad connection. Can you guys see me? Hope you guys can see me. I don't know why my Wi-Fi is geeking. Anyway, what's going on, what went on during World War II, that's another huge unlearning and relearning that we're going to have to go through. Is because during World War II, you know, the Nazis, what they did is they were more interested in what's called qualitative superiority instead of quantitative superiority. So qualitative superiority means they wanted technology. They didn't want boots on the ground. You see, in America, we were making more tanks, we had more men. The Germans knew that they couldn't win the war with quantity. They needed quality. So what they did is that they actually studied the esoteric. You see, the Nazis wanted, they literally studied the Vedas. They went to the Himalayas and tried to retrieve a lot of ancient scrolls, ancient texts. They worked with Maria Orsich, who was a channeler. She actually was able to channel different schematics for anti-gravity vehicles. They pretty much enslaved a scientist by the name of Victor Schauberger, who was doing research into implosion or basically compression or gravity research. Somebody said the Fuel and the Vril Society. Exactly. Maria Orsich was channeling for the Vril Society, which was a German secret society in World War II. So what I'm basically saying is that the Nazis in World War II obtained electrogravitic technology, and they were actually able to build a handful of flying discs. Multiple, I believe somewhere between like 10 to 15, if not 10 to 20 discs. Now the thing is, since America had more boots on the ground, and the Nazis didn't necessarily, they weren't able to build out their electrogravitic technology to outman and outgun those Americans that came over, and, you know, all the Allied forces. What they had to do was take their research, take their flying discs, and all their stuff down to Antarctica. So in about 1938, the Nazis, on their U-boats, took their research, took their discs, and took the primitive stuff they were working on and brought it down to Antarctica. Because you got to understand, folks, Antarctica is not some big ice ball that you can barely live on like Hoth, right? Antarctica is actually pretty warm down there, and there's a lot of caverns under the ice. You'll notice, literally right now, not now, you're watching this video. After you're done watching this video, go onto Google and type in Antarctica and look at the news. And you'll find that the biggest news story that's been circulating around on Antarctica lately is, I'm reading it right here off the Independent that was posted 6 hours ago. I'm going to read the title of the article. The title says, Antarctica is being rapidly melted from below, says NASA. NASA, right? Never a straight answer, NASA. And it thinks it knows why. So what this basically is saying, you know, they're trying to make you think that Antarctica is being melted from below and there's not already caverns down there. There's been caverns down there for a long time, and it's been warm under the ice. There's rivers. There's actually flowing rivers and lakes. So the Nazis in World War II were able to build out those caverns and create R&D, research and development programs under the ice in Antarctica. And I'll make long story short here, but you can also look into what's called Operation High Jump. So the Americans caught wind that the Nazis took all their stuff down to Antarctica, you know, and of course World War II ended in 1945 in Europe, but the history books don't tell you about the Antarctic component. Well, Operation High Jump was an operation by the American Navy led by Admiral Byrd in 1947. So it was actually after the official end of World War II. But Admiral Byrd was tasked with going down to Antarctica with about 5,000 men and 30 airplanes and like 10 or 20 ships. Lots of stuff. And it was made publicly known as being a research expedition, but you don't take 5,000 men down to Antarctica for a research expedition, okay? What Admiral Byrd went down to Antarctica for was to attack the Nazi forces that the Americans found out were down there. Well, because the Nazis were building out their anti-gravity craft, or electrogravitic, I like electrogravitic better. I'll actually do a video on that soon as to the relationship between electricity and gravity. But anyway, Admiral Byrd went down there. The Germans, with their anti-gravity craft, beat the shit out of Admiral Byrd, and Admiral Byrd had to retreat, actually, from Antarctica. So the Germans didn't lose World War II. They went underground, actually under ice, more literally. And then what they did is through Operation Paperclip, the Nazis were able to force the hand of the Americans. In 1952, the Nazis actually flew a lot of their Bell craft, their anti-gravity craft, over the U.S. Capitol, and they basically forced the Americans' hands. That's how all of these Germans were able to immigrate into America, is that the Germans forced it. And you know, you can kind of expand from the rest there. And then JFK had to fight the military-industrial complex. He lost, obviously. Eisenhower was fighting it, and then their tentacles just spread. So that's a basic, you know, 6-7 minute recap on Antarctica. But how that factors into now is, I mean, you can go check out that video I mentioned earlier and how it factors into now. But basically, disclosure. Right? Disclosure of real history, disclosure of this technology, disclosure of what's actually going on in Antarctica. Are they going to disclose part of it or all of it? Right? That's why these things I'm telling you are so important, because if we know that German secret societies have been down there since World War II, well then we know much more of the truth, and if we try to get some kind of official disclosure from the government or something to that effect, and they don't tell us things like, oh, the Nazis have been out there since World War II, well then you know they're half-assing their disclosure. So that's why it's important. But anyway, I think I'm done talking about that. Let's move on. A couple more things about Q that I want to make a note of. Is he on Air Force One or very close in proximity to the president? And the reason I say this is because Q posted a pic above Hong Kong yesterday, I believe. Was it yesterday? Let me check here. It was yesterday, yeah. So Q posted a pic above Hong Kong at the same time that Air Force One was actually in the air going over the same area. And this just is another piece of the puzzle that, you know, leads me to believe that Q is very well connected. I don't think Q is the president. I think Q is very close to the president. I think I know who Q is, and I'm not going to say names or anything like that here. It's not really a secret. He made a mention of it, made a hint of it on Twitter as to who Q is. But anyway, I think I know who it is. But, you know, very interesting. Just another piece that leads me to believe that it's the truth. And of course, there's a lot of things that haven't come to fruition that Q has said yet, like, you know, the Podesta indictment on the 3rd and the Huma indictment being on the 6th and all of these things. But there's so many things that are actually happening. like the thing in Saudi Arabia. And I want to say that, I want to make a note on that really quick, is that what happened in Saudi Arabia, I don't think enough people are taking quite as seriously as it actually is. It's huge what happened there. And that's going to reverberate around the globe, okay? And it will happen. You just have to have patience. But anyway, I think Q's legit. That's why I keep doing videos on it. And then also, I want to make a note on Trump's Apex Summit tweets. Sorry, I keep stuttering. Just my brain's fried right now. Trump's Apex Summit tweets from this morning. So Donald Trump actually made a handful of tweets at like 2:30 in the morning, and it's crazy because I woke up at 2:30 and actually saw this like right when it happened. But what had happened is that from his tweets, they were excerpts from his Apex Summit speech. He posted them to his Twitter at between 2:06 and 2:43, so there was a handful of them all smushed in there, but all of them were tagged from different locations in America. One was in California, one was tagged as being from Texas, and one was tagged as being from Florida. Well, dude's in Asia, right? The president's he flew to Vietnam today. So why and how and for what reason were these tweets directed as being from places in America? Well, there's multiple reasons. I mean, he's hiding location, in my opinion, with a VPN while sending a message. And I don't think these locations that he chose to tag his post from were random. Texas, Florida, and California. I'll make a note real quick. I saw a post on Twitter by this handle right here. I want to give credit to it because that's where I saw it from. He's named Stormwatcher on Twitter. If you can see this down here, it's at DAMartin32. You can see that right there. Kind of. Anyway, I saw on his Twitter, he said there are nearly 300 sealed indictments around the country now. He did some research and he actually posted the Google Drive with each one. Nearly 300. You know, people were blowing up, oh, there's like 20 or 30 around DC right now. That's not just DC though, it's around the country. And the common denominator between all the sealed indictments that he found, and they're all between October 30th and November 9th. I'm just going to read to you where they're all actually from real quick. Arkansas, 7. Who's from Arkansas? Somebody just commented. Hillary Clinton, right? Illinois, there's 11. Who's from Illinois? Obama. Well, didn't he just go to jury duty there yesterday? What if it wasn't jury duty? Texas, 46. Who lives in Texas? The Bush family? I think they do, right? Central LA, 162 from Central LA. 162 indictments in Central LA. That's a lot. South Florida, 8. And 60 in Southern New York. So that's 294 sealed indictments from around the country in just about a week and a half. And the big thing to note, the common denominator, is that the FBI from these cities is investigating the Clinton Foundation. Well, dude, what are 3 of those spots that I just said? Texas, California, and Florida. We have sealed indictments at. What are the spots that Donald Trump tagged in his Twitter post that I just mentioned? Texas, California, and Florida. So I think it's a message. You see, that's just my opinion, though, of course. But I think it's a message. And it's a message being set while he's also having to hide his location. Because if you also have been following the Q posts, there was a veiled message in one of the posts from last night that says, the CIA is here, pray. So, you know, I think there is a lot of covering being going on for the president's safety right now. I think what I noticed here with the location tagging was a piece of that, was evidence of that. And hopefully we get some shit going down tonight with that briefing. Hopefully it happens. And it's slated to happen in just a few hours now if it's, you know, if it does come to fruition. So hoping it does, right? Crossing every phalange I have. And I think that's really all for this one, guys. That's all I wanted to cover. You got some good Antarctica drop there. Went through that. Also, lastly, too, I saw a, you know, if you aren't in my Destroying the Illusion Facebook group, go join it, because there's so much good stuff that gets posted very fast in there. One thing I did see on 4chan, it was not by Q, but it was from somebody who said they were in the military and in the Air Guard. They said that there was 3 planes, one leaving from Florida trying to go to Canada, that was grounded earlier today. So maybe one of these indictments was trying to escape. That's just something I wanted to point out there too. So I did see that. I think that's all, you know, I think that's all, guys. So maybe we're in for a very eventful weekend. Remember, tomorrow's 11/11, you guys, and it's a very important day, very important astrological and cosmic significance to 11/11. So, man, hope it's good. Anyway, guys, I think that's all for this one. I'm going to go. Tomorrow I will be back at approximately, shoot for like 2 p.m. You know, I'm going to do a longer live stream tomorrow at about 2 p.m. and answer some questions and kind of shoot the shit with you guys. So 2 p.m. Pacific. And I think that's all. So again, thank you all for all your support. PayPal, Patreon, grabbing the webinars from my website, sharing these videos. You know, 2.8 thousand people watching. That's badass, and lots of people commenting. I can't even keep up with them. And then also Twitter @DestroyIllusion. They wouldn't let me put Destroying the Illusion because it's too long. So Destroy Illusion, Facebook group, and all that stuff. Again, you can just find the links down below this video. So peace out, guys. Have a great night. Let's hope we get a good one in store and wake up. You know, I feel like a kid on Christmas if it really happens. So woke as a kid on Christmas. See you guys.